What's going on, everybody? How we doing tonight? Welcome to the Wednesday night stream here in the basement. Hope everyone's doing well. A lot of the community, a lot of like myself, and a lot of the community are nerd vendors. So people probably over at Josh's Prime or member stream right now, which is cool. Because that means I can talk right to you, replay people. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you're ready for some crazy news. Because, oh my God, there have been developments the last 3 days. And I gotta talk about, I gotta talk about them with you. So fill your cup and light your smoke. Get ready for a super nerdy Wednesday night stream. Well, hello. How is everybody tonight? Welcome to this here Wednesday night stream. I hope y'all are doing well. Yes, I'm wearing a hat. I know I almost never do that. I'm not really pimping a team, although let's go Red Wings. I am wearing this because, in case some of you aren't aware, the country, a lot of it, is having a very interesting time with some cold weather and resulting activity. We got fucking snow in New Orleans, and here in the Midwest, it is just goddamn cold. It's -4 when I went to start my car this morning before I went to work, which means it's cold in this here basement. So a hat I shall wear to keep my bald head warm. Crooked ass ears fuck up everything. Look at this shit. Anyway, so how are we doing? How are we doing, chat and replay viewers? Hope we're all doing well. I'm doing pretty okay. Outside of it being so flippin' frigid. And if any Canadians happen to be watching right now, please take your cold air back. We don't want it. Okay. What's up, Soupy? How you doing? What's sad? The cold air or my bald head? Oh yeah, I know. We'll get there. I don't know if sad's the word, but it's definitely weird and has wide-ranging implications. So, but we shall discuss that in due course. In other words, much later in the stream. It was -3 there last night. Damn. Yeah, it's bloody chilly. What up, Delta Dan? How you doing, man? Thanks for hopping by. Ugh, I hate those fucking sudden nostril itches. What up, Daniel? How you doing? Well, if y'all are in the parts of the country affected by either like frigid fucking cold or snow when you shouldn't be getting any, then, you know, take care. Keep warm. Drive carefully. Celsius or Kelvin? Well, I live in the U.S., so it's, you know, the English system or whatever the fuck we have. I forget what we call our degrees, but, you know, not Fahrenheit. That's what it is. We use Fahrenheit for temperature around these parts. And it would be very warm in Kelvin degrees since it goes from absolute zero, which is the coldest it can ever be, because it is at the point at which even all molecular motion stops. Yeah, I know me some science facts too. Soupy says, to me it is because I've been waiting to see him on the big screen again. I know a lot of other people have too, but I really, 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 really want to see him again. Dude, I'm with you, man. I am with you. But on the other, I'm right now, I'm just more confused by the decision because, well, we'll get into it. The English system named after a German guy. I mean, sometimes. Not what I'm talking about. I was wrong. So yeah, Fahrenheit. Anyway, Daniel's planting pepper seeds. Nice. Delta Dan says, freaking Lions, man. Don't know who to root for now. Well, first of all, we're not talking about that fucking garbage. Anyway, and also, because it's Washington that beat us, I am now an Eagles fan. And on top of that, my guy Justin is an Eagles fan, so I'm hopping on his bandwagon for the remainder of the NFL playoffs. Also, Saquon Barkley's a fucking beast, and I love that guy. So I have temporarily shifted loyalty to Philadelphia. Fly, Eagles, fly. And while you're flying over to Commanders, shit upon them copiously, please. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm well aware this loss is way more on the Lions than it is on the Commanders. I mean, when you give the ball away like 5 fucking times, what do you expect to happen? So, I mean, Washington did their job. They took advantage of our fuck-ups. So, I mean, but regardless of, you know, that unassailable logic, fuck the Commanders. I'm an Eagles fan for the rest of the playoffs. What up, Lou? Soupy, not a Chiefs fan. Delta Dan lived right outside of Philly for a few years. Yes, Lou, I know. We were just talking about that fucking dumpster fire that my team decided to have that on a Saturday. That I decided to stream. No, you hate the Chiefs. I mean, that's valid. A lot of people like them. A lot of people hate them. A lot of people like the Cowboys. I fucking hate the Cowboys. A lot of people like the Yankees. I can't stand the goddamn Yankees. Fuck that team, too. Excuse me. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Fuck the Cowboys. Fuck the Yankees. Fuck every divisional opponent in every sport Detroit has. And the University of Michigan. And during the Olympics, fuck every other country but ours. So, yeah, that pretty much covers it. Anything but the Taylor Swift Chiefs. Lou says, fly, Eagles, fly. Exactly. That's the direction I'm going for the next 2 games. Can't say 2 weeks because it kind of appears that way. We'll get to it, Icarus. In due course, we shall address that subject. And in due course, I mean probably last. Yep. Some people like to lead with the big story. I like to end strong with the big story. That powerful finish, you know? You can cover a lot of sins with a strong finish. When you think about it, how many movies have you watched where you're like, through the, like most of it, and then the end is a banger, and you're like, hey, you know what? That was pretty cool. Yes, that too, Daniel. You know how we roll around here. Yeah. Yep. So highly disappointing weekend for this particular football fan. However, it would appear that the Red Wings have had a massive turnaround. Literally, the following game after they changed coaches, they've been on a tear. Not been perfect, but they've been on a tear. The Pistons have been winning games. I don't know when the fuck that started to happen. It's January, so obviously no baseball. So, oh, and U of M basketball is doing pretty okay right now as well. So, yeah, sorry about that, Lou. I don't know if it was the Lions specifically or the Lions and others, but yeah, that sorry, that sucks. Fortunately, that's what happens when you fumble, throw a pick six, another interception, and then your wide receiver on a trick play throws an interception. And then I guess there was a 5th turnover after I turned that motherfucker off. So, I mean, not that it mattered at that point. That was just one more. That was just one more laceration on top of like the other slashes. Ravens and the Lions. Oh yeah, dude. The first half of the Ravens game, I was sitting there watching that, going, "This literally." It was almost identical to the Lions' first half, like with the turnovers and shit. It was crazy. I was watching that Ravens game, going, "God, this all seems so familiar." Glitch in the Matrix. Did they forget to change the program from the Lions to the Ravens or something? Or to, you know, did they leave the Lions program in and just put the Ravens template on that shit? Like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, it was. That was definitely wild. Definitely wild. All right. Ooh, got a few people in here now. Well, welcome one and all, whether you are active in the chat and or lurking. I appreciate you being here, hanging out. Do me humongous favors and hit the buttons, please. You know the ones I'm talking about, the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell. Hit those puppies. That way you know what's going on here in the basement. And also to somehow, like, fool YouTube into thinking that, you know, more people should hang out here. I mean, they should. But we got to make YouTube believe it. So, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. hit the notification button, share some shit out, leave comments on the replay, all that fun stuff. Please and thank you. I'd appreciate it a lot. By the way, how are we doing on likes? Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. Come in. Tell me. 6 likes, and I got 9 viewers. What the fuck? Whoever you 3 are, pretty, please hit the like. Thank you. Hopefully you're still here. Oops. 2 people decided to dip rather than hit the like. Is that too much? Is that so much? Was that too much to ask? There's a simple little boop. Or with the mouse. It's crazy. You're drinking tonight, Lou? Awesome. I mean, I never did put this away from the other night. I will do one shot with you, Lou. I'm pouring it. Let me know when you're ready. Yeah, what the future drunk guy said. Hit the damn like button. So, just showing you proof. I'm ready when you are. So, kind viewers of this stream, live and on the replay, are we ready to get into the news? Okay. Let us begin. We begin tonight. You ready? Pick it up. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Do it. Cheers. See? Community. All right. So, our first couple items come to us from the galaxy far, far away. Also known as the current mostly dumpster fire known as Star Wars. Turns out Christian Harloff been dropping a lot of Star Wars news the last few shows of his. Last week he dropped both that Ewan McGregor is going to be in Ahsoka Season 2 and that the big bad of Mando was going to be Embo, the bounty hunter, and that there will be a race for the son of Jabba the Hutt named Rota. He dropped those scoops. Well, I believe it was Monday. He dropped another one. Yeah, yes, Icarus, the Kennedy verse. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Disney Wars. He dropped another little tidbit. Another little detail about Ahsoka Season 2. Which seems to be the only thing that Disney Wars has going for it currently that has any kind of juice whatsoever. At least that's the way it seems to me. I don't know if you agree. Let me know in the chat. But he dropped another little doodad for Ahsoka Season 2, and that is that supposedly Lucasfilm is close to signing a deal for none other than Natalie Portman to reprise her role as Padme Amidala in Ahsoka Season 2. How about them apples? Already got Hayden carrying over from Season 1. According to Harloff, we're getting both Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ariana Greenblatt back as young Ahsoka. So obviously there's going to be some more Clone Wars shiz happening. And now evidently we're also getting Padme back, which of course only lends itself to a World Between Worlds flashback scene. But if we're involving all them, I'm thinking it's got to be half an episode, if not like almost a whole episode of a big old Clone Wars deal. Now, whether it's going to be a flashback, yes. Is it going to be a World Between Worlds flashback? That's most likely. Kind of like how Anakin took Ahsoka on that little trip in season 1 in episode 5. I think that's the most likely thing. However, there is a small chance that they could be doing something really fun with her. Like maybe perhaps, although that does seem to back up the rumor that came out a couple weeks ago that Lucasfilm was looking to hire an actress for Ahsoka, a high-profile actress for Ahsoka season 2. This does kind of seem to back that one up. Now, initially, when that news came out, I believe Bespin Bulletin broke that. I'm not 100, but I believe that's the case. Thoughts were that it was possible that they were looking to cast someone for the role of Abeloth, as that is a popular theory as to who is calling to Baylan Skoll on Peridea. Now, it would seem that the casting of Natalie Portman, or bringing back of Natalie Portman as Padme Amidala, would put paid to that theory. And more than likely, 99% chance it does. However, we're talking Dave Filoni here. And now, while I don't necessarily agree with everything he does or has done, he is creative enough to, like, fuck around and say, perhaps, Natalie Portman will be playing Abeloth disguised as Padme for the purposes of temptation. Or just fuck with people. I highly doubt it. I think it's just going to be her as part of a big old World Between Worlds Clone Wars era flashback. That's the most likely scenario to me. But you never know. What up, Delta Dan? Well, first we're going to talk about some Star Wars news, and then we're going to talk about some Marvel news. Ain't no DC news currently. Well, we got Star Wars news, we got Marvel news. And right now we're talking about item number 1 Star Wars news. And that is the fact that, according to one Christian Harloff, who I believe got this one from the same source that gave him the Obi-Wan Ariana Greenblatt thing and the Embo thing. I think this is all coming from the same person, entity, what have you. Evidently, Lucasfilm is at this point in talks and allegedly close to a deal to bring Natalie Portman back as Padme Amidala in Ahsoka Season 2. Which, on the surface, fuck yeah. Complete the quartet. Anakin, Obi-Wan, Padme, Ahsoka. I mean, there's all kinds of shit you could do with those four. You can have them all together. You can pair them off. It doesn't even have to be, you know, Anakin with you and Ahsoka with Padme. It can be, you know, whatever. You can fuck around with that. There's possibilities. All kinds of possibilities with that shit. But just in general, I like it. I think it's cool. I think they need to put effort into something because on the surface, at least, unless there's something more boiling below the surface of the story that we do not currently know about, the Mando and Grogu movie doesn't look like they put that much into it. Like, honestly, it seems like Filoni is giving much more juice to Ahsoka Season 2 than he and Favreau combined gave the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Like, that's it. That's what it feels like to me. I don't know what you guys think, but with all this news coming out about Ahsoka and, like, what has come out about the Mandalorian and Grogu, it feels to me like, now, obviously, I mean, it kind of makes sense, But it feels to me like Ahsoka is getting a shit more love and care and attention than the Mandalorian and Grogu movie got. What are the odds it's a 2-episode Clone Wars flashback? Low. They will definitely not designate 2 episodes to an entire flashback. There will have to be an intro and an extra to it. Now, could it cross over like from one episode to the next? Definitely. But I figure there will be intro and in the first episode and outro in the second. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. Give us some of the 2D Clone Wars in live action. Fuck yeah. Icarus says, in general, yes, but another world beyond world scene, world between worlds. Icarus. Is Ahsoka almost dying again? No, I don't think it's going to be that case. Given the fact that we saw Anakin Force Ghost smiling at Ahsoka and Sabine at the end of Ahsoka Season 1, I don't think it'll take a near-death experience for those two to communicate again. I think he'll just pop up and be like, we got to talk, and then bring her into the world between worlds. And then, you know, produce yet another lesson of some sort. What up, Brennan? We're talking some Star Wars news. Actually, still the first news item of the evening. And that is supposedly, what's her goddamn name? Natalie Portman is close to signing a deal to be coming back as Padme in Ahsoka Season 2. Yeah, World Between Worlds. Yeah. You got it. You don't need to give up. You just achieved it right there. Clone Wars scene could have been longer. Most definitely. I do 100% agree with that. Give me all the Clone Wars flashbacks. Matter of fact, fuck this shit. Give me an entire live-action Clone Wars show with those 4. Hayden, Ewan, Ariana, Natalie. I'll take that all fucking day. Oh, and what's his fuzz? Anthony Daniels, because he ain't dead yet, so bring his ass back as 3PO. Oh yeah, I would love live action Clone Wars. Love it. Love it. So, but yeah. Now, mind you, he in the report he did say close to signing a deal. So it's not 100% official. It's not a done deal. Everything could fall the fuck apart. Who knows? However, if it does end up happening, fucking dope. I'm very much here for that shit. If it is true and if it pans out. Now, speaking of if it's true, unlike the last couple scoops, which were validated by Christian Harloff, I should say, his last couple scoops, which were validated by other scoopers, he's getting pushback on this one. So who knows? Maybe I have a feeling if there's with the what's the word I'm looking for? Contradictory reports. I would say that it's a pretty safe bet that somebody somewhere has outdated information. Now remember outdated information, folks, because that's coming up later. Just keep the phrase outdated information in the back of your mind, because that's going to come up again. The Ahsoka series says, Icarus says, the Ahsoka series can't live from flashbacks alone. I hope Baylan and Shin get something interesting to do as well. Oh, no, Baylan is going to be doing very interesting things. I can guarantee that. They don't leave that motherfucker standing on a statue of the father on his outstretched finger pointing to a glowy spot in the mountains. Unless they're going to do some shit with that motherfucker. Baylan's going to get a lot of love. How much Shin gets, that I'm not sure about. I mean, she's got her tribe of Peridia's version of Tusken Raiders that, she's going to be leading. Now, the question is what are they going to have her decide to do with them? Is she just going to start tracking down Balin now that Thrawn is gone and all she really has now are Peridian Raiders, for lack of a better sobriquet? I feel like she's going to take them and go track down Balin and see what the fuck he's after. Like, what is this power that's calling to him? I think she's curious. And I think that's what she's going to do. Round up the Raiders and go on a Balin hunt. Yes. Oh, Shin Hati, definitely. What up, Brooke? But yeah, no, I agree, Icarus. It cannot live from flashbacks alone. But I am pretty sure there will be substance to go along with all the fucking awesome member berries it seems like we're going to be getting. How do they all get back to the main galaxy? They only have one ship. Well, someone is going to have to find a way to them and bring them back. They're going to need help from the main galaxy. Oh, Brooke, that's next. First, we're going to gush over the fact that we could be getting Padme Amidala back in Ahsoka Season 2 to go with Ewan and young Ahsoka, played by Ariana Greenblatt. Like, Ahsoka is shaping up to be... I don't know how quality the story is going to be, but it looks like it's at least going to be a fun watch. With cool characters that we all love. And hopefully Dave manages to do something awesome with that pile of characters. More awesome than what he did in Season 1. But, on the whole, I say about the potential return of Natalie Portman, I have but one simple thought to that scenario, and that is, fuck yeah. What about you, chat? What you think? How do you feel about the potential return of one Natalie Portman to complement Ewan Hayden and young Ahsoka in what is more than likely some kind of Clone Wars flashback set up in the world between worlds? How do you feel, chat? Dub, L, don't really give a fuck. What do you think? Brooke says, to be honest, I give Dave slack for Ahsoka Season 1 having a somewhat lackluster ending, given that it did seem like he wanted to save the good stuff for Season 2. To a point, I agree with you, but it didn't... Even if he was saving something for Season 2, which, I don't blame him for. I mean, show writers / showrunners, what have you, always want to do multiple seasons of their show so they can do their whole story they have planned out in their head. Cool. Totally down for that. However, you do have to balance it out, and that was a very, in my opinion, very poor job of balancing it out. That was done at the end of Ahsoka Season 1. Natalie Portman returning to Star Wars is a win. Yep. Daniel says giggity always. Yep. Lou says dub. Yep. Brendan says Padme. Dub. Yep. All right. Looks like we're all basically in agreement. Natalie Portman potentially coming back is a good, at a minimum, a good idea. And if it pans out, a good thing. Cool. So that is like the objectively good Star Wars news. Lou says, we saw what happened to Mando Season 3. Yes, we did. And I am still firmly convinced that the obvious air of I don't give a fuck that shit, what's his goddamn name? Happy. That Happy put into Mando Season 3 was a result of him and Kathy hard beefing behind the scenes. Jon Favreau. The obvious air of I don't give a shit that Favreau put into the Mando season 3, I think is a result of him and Kathy hardcore beefing BTS. How many seasons are they doing for Ahsoka? Do not know. I mean, obviously at least 2. I don't know that they're going to go past 2 because I think that Filoni's Heir to the Empire / Star Wars Avengers movie, however you want to put it, is going to come before Ahsoka season 3. So I don't know if he's going to do more Ahsoka beyond what he needs to set up that particular movie. Now, is there more stories he could do with her beyond that? Of course. Plenty of them. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Yeah, that's like my best guess, because like when he's serious about it, we got Mando seasons 1 and 2. Like, I don't see any... Like, I don't think Jon Favreau all of a sudden forgot how to make the Mandalorian show between seasons 2 and 3. Like, that doesn't make any sense. What makes more sense is a lot of behind-the-scenes interference from one Kathy Kennedy. To me, at least, that makes a lot more sense than Favreau all of a sudden, like, losing all his fucking talent. Yeah. So, anywho, Natalie Portman could be coming back. Dub. Next item. We are staying in Star Wars. And yesterday afternoon, The Hollywood Reporter broke a big old Star Wars story. Star Wars shocker. Ryan Gosling in talks to star in Sean Levy's movie. Exclusive. If the deal makes, what the fuck kind of phrase is that? These people are supposed to be journalists. Are they not? This would send the project into hyperdrive after 2 years of development and make it the next Star Wars movie to go into production. 2025, the year is finally gone. Hopefully, but on one of the recent hot mic shows, 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, can't remember how it came up, but Snyder said don't be surprised if she's here for the rest of the year, at least. So, there's that. So, yes, this guy pairing up with this guy for a Star Wars movie. They should just let Favreau cook. Totally not a reference to his movie chef. And Filoni as well. I mean, yes. Although Filoni needs writing help. Let's be honest here. Let's keep it above board. Let's keep it real. Filoni, very creative. Knows Star Wars in and out. Mostly true to what George's vision. Not the best writer. Good at coming up with stories. He has good vision. The writing's a bit weak. The writing is a bit weak. But yeah, outside of that, let those two motherfuckers cook. Basically, all Kathleen should have been doing this entire time is just sitting in her office, rubber stamping everything Favreau and Filoni brought to her. And listening to literally no one else but those two. Done. Sure, get him a writer's room. Yeah, definitely. Brooke says, Sean Levy's Star Wars movie could be interesting. He could help Filoni with writing good live-action stories in the future, potentially. Yes, he could definitely Yeah, Filoni could definitely pick up a couple tricks from him and his writing partner. Yeah, Levy did the Adam Project and Real Steel. As a matter of fact, the dude that's working with him on the Star Wars script is the one that worked with him on the Adam Project, his co-writer. Same dude. Same dude. All right, into the article. Oh yes, by Boris Kitt and Pamela McClintock. If you guys didn't know, Boris Kitt is like one of the premier entertainment journalists in all of Hollywood, not just at the Hollywood Reporter, but like period. He be breaking his own shit. So, all right, we begin with the actual article. Ryan Gosling is headed to the great galaxy far, far away. Excuse me. The three-time Oscar nominee is in negotiations to top-line the Star Wars feature project that will be directed by Deadpool and Wolverine filmmaker Sean Levy. Is it Levy or Levy? Someone help me out with this. Yeah, he did some Stranger Things episodes too. Is it Levy or Levy? Like, someone Google that shit for me. I feel like it's Levy, personally. But I don't know for sure. Anywho, details on any Star Wars project are harder to acquire than plans for an orbital planet killer. And this one is no exception. Clever. Levy has been developing his Star Wars feature since 2022. And Jonathan Tropper, here we go, who collaborated with Levy on films such as This Is Where I Leave You and The Adam Project, has been working on a script for over a year. Levy is also producing the feature via his 21 Laps banner, joining Star Wars stewards Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm. It is unclear when Levy's project is set. Star Wars stories have run the gamut of hundreds of years, detailing the goings-on of a galactic republic turned dictatorship turned rebellion. It's also unclear if it concerns Jedi and their enemies, the Sith. They actually type Jedis, but I refuse to read that shit because the plural of Jedi is still Jedi, like deer and you motherfucking idiots. Anyway, it is, however, to be unconnected to the so-called Skywalker saga. The stories centered on well-established and beloved characters Luke Skywalker and his father Anakin. It is meant to be a standalone movie, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. Lucasfilm had no comment on any impending deal or the project's details, but they also did not make them pull the story. Sources say the Gosling development is a late-in-the-game move for Levy's movie schedule. The filmmaker was eyeing to direct a boy band movie set up at Paramount, which would have reunited him with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Oh, so that's the small project he had going on with those two that we've heard about. Okay, a boy band movie? I would need to know more, even with Ryan and Hugh in it. But Gosling's interest and involvement suddenly shifted the Star Wars project into hyperspace. If a deal makes, the project would continue to fly like the Millennium Falcon, becoming not only Levy's next movie, but also the next Star Wars movie to go into production, with cameras potentially rolling this fall. The Mandalorian and Grogu, wrapped in mid-December, will be released on May 22nd, 2026. Gosling's boarding will mark a rare occasion that a Star Wars feature brings aboard an actual A-lister. The original trilogy featured up-and-comers and British veterans, turning actors Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher into household names. The prequels followed a similar model, although The Phantom Menace did bring on Liam Neeson to buttress the ranks following his Oscar nomination for Schindler's List. The Disney era saw J.J. Abrams also introduce a crop of rising talent, even as it brought back the original stars. In a bit of synchronicity, Gosling was name-checked for Star Wars part back in 2013, when rumors spread online that he and Zac Efron were being eyed by Abrams for a familial part that may have eventually become Kylo Ren. The actor last seen starring Universal's Fall Guy is rep by CA and Sloan. Blah, 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 blah. He recently wrapped on Project Hail Mary. M-A-R-R-Y, so probably another rom-com from him. Another spacefaring movie which hails from Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Oh. Lord and Miller. Interesting. So, Ryan motherfucking Gosling coming to Star Wars. And not just in any old movie. In Sean Levy's Star Wars movie. Now, there are things, people. There are things. So much Star Wars type stuff in the Adams Project. Nice. They should get Walker Scoble too. I don't know who the fuck that is. Triple dubs from Delta Dan and Deadpool. How they leave that out? No, they mentioned that literally right in the beginning. Directed by Deadpool and Wolverine filmmaker Sean Levy. There it is. There it is. So, Lucasfilm wants a Ken doll to be in a Star Wars movie. How do we feel about that, chat? Before we get into a couple other things, how do we feel about the idea of one Ryan Gosling of being in a Star Wars feature production? Think you haven't watched a Gosling movie yet? Really? What up, Griff? Brooke says, overall, I feel a bit mixed. It's a wild card. I mean, true. I think the idea is intriguing. I'm not like, woo! Or, I'm not in either place right now. I'm just like, interesting. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I never watched the movie. I don't know how that fucking song goes. That was a complete guess. Brooke says, hard to imagine Gosling in a Star Wars movie, but he is a decent actor. I like the Fall Guy movie. I haven't seen that. I've heard it's a better movie than what the box office would say it is. I will say I've heard that. That I have heard. Fall Guy was lit. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah. So, I think it's kind of interesting. I think it's intriguing. I think I'm not 100% sure on this. Did they say in the article have these two worked together before? I feel like they may have worked together before. Doesn't say, though. Doesn't say. I feel like they have worked together on something. I just cannot recall what it is. Anywho. Now, there was another, The Notebook went hard back in the day with the movie. Yes, it did. It's actually a good movie. I enjoyed it. Very emotional at the end, obviously, but a good movie. At least I think so. Anywho. Here's some fun part. Barbie was $1 billion movie and he was damn near the lead, at least heavy co-lead. That is true. That is very, very true. But here's one of the phrases that stood out to me. And it is the following. The article states, it is, however, to be unconnected to the so-called Skywalker saga. The story centered on well-established and beloved characters, Luke Skywalker and his father Anakin. It is meant to be a standalone movie. Okay. So, my initial reaction is not supposed to be connected to the so-called Skywalker saga. Cool. At least if they're talking about the sequel part of it. Would it be interesting? Would it be interesting if they connected to the part of it that we all like? Yes. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I feel like this movie is going to be in the future. Off that way somewhere. Now, the original reports on the Levy movie was that it was supposed to feature an older Rey. Further reports stated that he was going to be allegedly doing a trilogy in which said older Rey would be done in the vein of like an Obi-Wan Kenobi type character. And our guy Josh, his people told him that some version of Rey is supposed to be in the Levy movie. Oh, they definitely should start to bring in legend stories, like a lot of them. I can think of any number of them if I could remember the titles of all the books I have in my box out there. But yeah, the many stories from Legends would definitely make good adaptations to the current on-screen Star Wars universe. So, where was I? Oh, yes. Even our guy Josh's sources told him there's supposed to be some Rey action in Levy's movie. But here's the thing. That is a direct conflict. At least it appears to be indirect conflict to the Hollywood Reporter's story here, which says it is, however, to be unconnected to the so-called Skywalker saga. Well, since those twats at Lucasfilm decided to have Rey call herself a Skywalker at the end of Rise of Skywalker, it would seem to me that that precludes Rey's presence in this movie. I mean, they did make that big-ass deal about her calling herself Rey Skywalker there at the end. So if this is, which, puts her flat smack dab in the Skywalker saga. And if this is unconnected to the Skywalker saga, as this article says, which of course contradicts previous reports and Josh's sources, ain't gonna be no Rey in it. Can't be. Which, of course, I think is a damn fine idea. We don't need more Rey, despite what that idiot who worked for Lucasfilm was quoted as saying in that, I think it was a Hollywood Reporter article a few weeks back, where he said Rey is their best cinematic asset. No, not true. But yeah, so the question then becomes, who has the more accurate / updated information? Is perchance the Hollywood Reporter not as far along in the process as they think? Is perhaps the other people, along with the people Josh knows and talks to, is their information outdated? Was it used to be going to be Rey, but now it's going to be Gosling? Is this a pivot? Has someone finally wised the fuck up over there and realized that Rey is not their most valuable cinematic asset? I do not know anything about Daisy Ridley's contract. I'm assuming there is one, since she got paraded out on stage and everything, like, 2-3 years ago now at this point? But, oh, you're definitely right about that, Brooke. But yeah, I don't know at all, for sure. Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, if we knew that, we could do a lot more solid speculating, I tell you that much. But yeah, I don't know. I do not know. But getting back to the movie and the Gosling of it all, we got questions. One, is it truly unconnected to the Skywalker saga? And if so, does this indicate just a temporary pivot away from Rey, just for this one movie? Or is this the beginning of a broader turn for the studio as a whole. I am 100% not betting on this is an indication of any kind of broader change inside of Lucasfilm. Honestly, any decisions that appear to come from Lucasfilm would be A, going away from Rey, like this looks like it could be, or B, canceling something like The Acolyte, come from above, outside of Lucasfilm. They come from Disney proper. So, at least I believe they do. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, which is, when it comes to decisions that seem to make sense. Is they're either coming from Dave or they're coming from above. So that's one of the questions. That's the biggest question, I think, is how accurate is the statement that it's unconnected to the Skywalker saga? Because that right there is huge. That will be a big determining factor in interest slash viewing of this movie. If we're getting a Sean Levy directed Star Wars movie with Ryan Gosling in it and no Rey, I don't know if that means the movie would do well, but I am very willing to say that the movie would do better that way than with Rey in it. Now, a big issue with, even if like everyone loved this idea and like everyone was like, woo, Gosling in Star Wars, fuck yeah. So far as a broader audience goes, will they even show up given the current level of brand damage? Even to a movie they know will have nothing to do with Rey or the sequels. Will the fact that this was done under Kathleen Kennedy's watch keep people away from the theaters? I think to an extent that will be the case. Will it be geared more towards adults, or will it be like Skeleton Crew? I feel like it'll be geared more towards adults. Didn't realize you were behind on the stream, but Fall Guy was dope. Oh, okay, cool. Also catch the fuck up, bro. 1.5 speed. It's fun. I've done it before. Yeah, I feel like this is gonna. Well, I feel like it's gonna be. Yeah, it'll definitely be not as super for kids as Skeleton Crew. That's definitely something at this point you only want to do on Disney Plus. So yeah, I think it's going to be much more of, at least in terms of broad age appeal, probably your average Star Wars film when it comes to that. It'll be geared for a much more broad audience than Skeleton Crew is. At least I would fucking hope so. But yeah, the odds are definitely in that favor. In the favor of not Skeleton Crew levels of child appeal. Yep. So yeah, not in the Skywalker saga, allegedly. And meant to be a standalone movie. Which brings up another thing. The first Rey movie, when Kathy drug her out during Celebration. Was it Celebration or was it at fucking D23? I can't remember. This is one of the two. Anywho. Imagine it's rated R. That will never ever happen for a Star Wars movie, ever. And if by some miracle a Star Wars movie was rated R, it would be purely for violence only. I still don't think there'd be any swearing. I definitely don't think there'd be any giggity. Other than like the faint hints that Andor gave us, which were more hints than we ever got in any other Star Wars project before it. I mean, we got hot chicks in Star Wars projects, but we never got any hint of, you know, the good stuff. Thought the same about an MCU movie, though. The MCU has a lot more leeway for that shit than Star Wars does. And really, they were at the point where they kind of had to, you know, let Deadpool be Deadpool. Like, I mean, some parts of Disney are, but I don't ever see Star Wars doing that. At least not in anything outside of, like, you know, making something violent, you know, set during some kind of galactic war or something. That would be about it. But yeah, odds are we never see anything come out with a Star Wars label on it that is rated anything more than TV-14 on Disney Plus or PG-13 in a theater. Yeah, Marvel's more flexible. Yeah, well, I mean, they constantly retcon comics, so yeah, there's a lot of flexibility in Marvel compared to Star Wars, for sure. But yeah, ton of lore. 30, 40 years of lore. 35 at the time of purchase. They need the money from families going to the movies, says Icarus. That is 100% correct. That is 100% correct. Now, one more thing out of this article I wanted to touch on is the sentence that said it is meant to be a standalone movie. Sources tell the Hollywood Reporter. Now, yeah, Disney Plus does, for sure. Now, where was I? Yes, the first Rey movie that was announced, when Kathy drug Daisy out on stage, and also in the one that's supposed to be helmed by Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, also supposed to be a standalone movie, obviously Rey-centric. However, we haven't heard jack shit about that movie in a long time. Last we knew is Stephen Knight went bye-bye, and he was the second writer, or second writer after Damon Lindelof. But yeah, we've heard diddly poop about that. And again, according to this article, this movie could start shooting sometime this year. Now, unless it's like really soon this year, that means we're looking at a 2027 release for this one. But yeah, this could end up being the next movie put into production. Now, as recently as last week, it looked like that was going to be the Mangold movie. A report came out saying that was going to film later this year, like this fall. All this article said was it could film sometime this year, this movie. But yeah, if they land Gosling, I can definitely see them going, hold your horses, James. We need to get Pretty Boy into the theaters now. So, I mean, hopefully that Charmin Obaid-Chinoy Rey movie never sees the fucking light of day. Ms. Obaid-Chinoy is 100% on a technical level not qualified to do this movie. Number one, she's never done feature film. She hasn't even done a small one, much less one of the scope and magnitude that a Star Wars cinematic feature requires. She has no experience with that. She is a documentary maker. So, not only has she never made a feature film of any size, She hasn't made one at all. I think that's kind of the same thing. But yeah, so she is completely not qualified to handle a Star Wars movie. What up, Travis? Just based on her current experience. Now, were she to jump into directing feature films like, say, in the indie scene, or, you know, like a smaller drama for, you know, a bigger studio, like, you know, Sony and Warner Brothers and, you know, Universal, they put out non-tentpole movies all the time. You know, give her a couple, three of those, and then bring her in onto a monster feature like a Star Wars movie or something like that. But for a humongous movie like a Star Wars movie is and has to be, you don't get that to be your first film. At least you shouldn't. You are not qualified. I don't give a fuck. So hopefully that movie is on the shelf. Hopefully this movie is taking its spot. And honestly, hopefully it is not connected to the Skywalker saga, especially the tail end of it. Now, as for whether a humongous star belongs in Star Wars, it is a rarity. Star Wars has made its bones mostly on bringing in unknown actors and showcasing them in a way that, you know, they become popular. You know, that's been, for the most part, their MO. Obviously, there are exceptions. Alec Guinness, the original Obi-Wan, is an exception. Harrison Ford is kind of an exception. He was a little known. He was definitely known to George because he was in, Fahrenheit, whatever the fuck that movie was. Or no, I can't remember the name of the movie. But yeah, Mark Hamill was mostly an unknown. Carrie Fisher is basically an unknown. Like I said, they did get Alec Guinness. No, come to think about it, Christopher Lee was reasonably well known at that point too. Tarkin. That's about it, though. American Graffiti. Yes, thank you, Brooke. That's the one. American Graffiti. Indiana Jones he got after he was Han Solo. Yep, Griff, American Graffiti. All, by the way, what up, Griff? Thanks for coming in. But yeah, no, he was Indiana Jones after, I believe, Empire. I believe it was after Empire is when he got the fuck, Raiders of the Lost Ark came out. I think it was like Empire came out in like 80, and I think Raiders came out in like 81. Yeah. Liam Neeson, Sam Jackson. There's been a few, but again, not a shit ton, you know? Right. Yeah, they were generally reserved for the older actors. True. Also true, Travis. Yeah. So, for the most part, by a majority, Star Wars has made its bones on unknown actors. And Ryan Gosling is not unknown. He's been around for a minute. While the box office record of his filmography is not the greatest. That's why he wanted Han to kick the bucket in Empire so he could concentrate on Indiana Jones. Well, guess what? He got to do both any goddamn way. And he did more Indiana Jones, well, at least till the sequels, he did more Indiana Jones movies than he did Star Wars movies. So he still got his fucking way. But, so while it is true that that has been a majority, it's not 100% true. And honestly, at this point, and this very well could work against them, um, they need some kind of pop somehow. If the pop that they what the pop they really need, we don't know when the hell that's going to happen. Said pop being Kathleen Kennedy's departure. They need something, and the combination of Ryan Gosling and Sean Levy is worth some pop, more than what they're used to getting. So from that angle, not a bad idea. From the angle of people being able to just delve into the character, despite the fact that it's, you know, that pretty motherfucker's the one playing the character. If he does a good enough job, it'll be fine. That part kind of comes down, if you're not using an unknown actor, that part kind of comes down to talent. So we'll see how he does from that angle. Yeah, I think I'm not woohoo about it. I don't hate it. I think it's an interesting idea. I think it's cool that it allegedly will not be attached to the Skywalker saga, mostly because that means no fucking Rey. And yeah. And I think it's a good idea if this is, if not the absolute next movie to go into production, it should go into production right after the Mangold one. If the Mangold one is the next one. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Chat, let me know. And if you're on the replay, put some comments in that motherfucker. What do you think about Ryan Gosling joining the galaxy far, far away in what is currently in completely unknown capacity? Travis says the marketing rarely had the most well-known stars at the forefront. That is true. Sam Jackson wasn't even on the Phantom Menace poster and was smaller than the other stars on the next posters. They George definitely pushed the unknowns a lot harder than he pushed the veterans. That is 100% fact. Rook says, I think Ryan Gosling could find a niche within Star Wars. If he does, it could turn out great. Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely potential. Yeah, I mean, he's a good actor. I mean, let's not get it twisted. The various performances of his films notwithstanding, yeah, he's a good actor. So, at that point, it'll be down to the level of quality of what Levy and his writing buddy, what's his fucking name? Jonathan Tropper give him. But based on what we've seen from that duo before, there's a pretty good chance they're gonna have a good, decent script. Edgar says, I don't know his acting, but anyway, without knowing if he's a Jedi, Sith, smuggler, or whatever, it's hard to tell. Yeah, I mean, obviously, once we get that information, we'll be in a much better position to evaluate what they have going on. But with what we do know, I don't know if I'm like for it per se, but I'm definitely not against it. For me, the key is less what he's going to be playing, Jedi, Sith, bounty hunter, politician, whatever. The key for me is the truth of the connectivity or lack thereof to the Skywalker saga. And Lou, it is. Let me know when you're ready in the chat. Wonder if they'll be able to pull off a trilogy. Gosling and Levy together? Depends on how do they good. How do they good? Jesus Christ. Depends on how good they do with the first one. This one. Like, it literally comes down to that. Travis says, I'd like to see a Running Man type story in the Star Wars universe, and Gosling would fit that. How does the Empire use entertainment and news to manipulate the public? Something we haven't seen. Yeah. It sounds like a very Andor-like story, so I don't know if... I mean, well, I find that intriguing. I still want, like... You know, like, really Star Wars-y stuff in it, other than just, like, the Empire as a setting. You know what I mean? All right. Last one, though, because I got to fucking work tomorrow. Sláinte, Prost, and L'chaim. So, that's what I think. That's the take on that. I'm not necessarily for it, but I'm also not against it. Like Travis said, I want more info. Travis says, in other news, I'm happy the Edgar Wright Running Man movie is following the book. Is it? Because that would be good. Because that Arnold movie, I hadn't read the book before seeing that, but when I did read the book, I was very glad I hadn't read the book before seeing that, because I ended up having retroactive hate for that movie after I read that book. Yeah, I was like, they absolutely destroyed this book with that movie. Absolutely fucking destroyed it. Absolutely destroyed it. For me. All right. This concludes the Star Wars portion of the broadcast. Any thoughts, questions, or concerns about anything we've gone over so far that you have not yet brought up, may have recently occurred to you, what have you? What about it, chat? What do you think? Do you have anything more you wish to discuss about the Star Wars news, be it the Padme news, be it the Gosling news, what have you? Or shall we move on? What the fuck? What are you doing, cat? Knock it off, cat. I love my cats, but fuck. Oh, hey, look. Oh. Evidently, the social media reaction embargo for Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man lifts tomorrow. That'll be interesting to see. Yes. Blah, 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 blah. Where's what I'm looking for? It ain't gonna be that far fucking back. So I'll use that one, even though it's hard to fucking read. Wish I knew. Blade Runner 2049. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a good movie, I heard. I haven't seen it, but it was not like a major box office smash. Not that that really matters, but, for people to whom box office matters a lot as a part of an actor's resume, then Gosling's honestly ain't that fucking great. Brooke says, "Oh yeah, I remember Josh said some rumors about no Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange 3 or something." No. That's slightly reversed. It's no Strange and Doomsday, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Be patient. Likelihood of getting Doctor Strange 3 after Secret Wars, which is kind of interesting. It is. Travis says, "While I wanted to be outside the Skywalker story, Ryan Gosling as Dash Rendar would be cool." I know the name. I just can't bring his story to mind right now, Travis. Brooke says, "I'd still like the Mystery MCU film to be Doctor Strange 3. That'd be nice." Lou says, "Let this be an excellent year for Star Wars, KK or not. I still want her gone, but fuck, give me something good." Well, this year we get two whole options. We get Andor Season 2, and I think we're supposed to get Visions Season 3 this year. That's it. Danielle says, "Two Wookiees walk into a bar. The third one ducks." Smart Wookiee. Blade Runner, blah, 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 Blade Runner. Okay, Travis says, "One change I'd make to the end of Blade Runner 2049. Gosling lays back on the steps and the snow falls. One snowflake lands on his forehead, shaped like a sheep. It melts as he closes his eyes." I'll take your word for it. I haven't seen the movie. Icarus says, will the Avengers be confused if they see that Doctor Doom looks like Iron Man?" Yes, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what the Russos want and McFeely. The fact that Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doctor Doom pretty much makes it a given that he is not going to be wearing his mask anywhere near as much as Doom does in the comics, because they need that face to show to fuck with the 616 good guys. So yeah, they'll be confused, and that's the way the Russos and McFeely want it. Still want Doctor Strange 3 to maybe adopt part of this Time Runs Out storyline? Well, here's the problem with that. That would have to come out before Doomsday, and there's zero chance of that. Matter of fact, I don't see anything coming out in that February slot in Doomsday. That's literally 13 months away at this point. If they haven't started on a movie like last month, they're not getting one out for that February slot. Dash is the main character in Shadows of the Empire. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's still a lot of Legends books I need to read. Give me just 2 seconds. Let me quickly acquaint myself with the TLDR on Dash Rendar. What is the problem here? Oh, that's the problem. Dash Rendar, first mentioned Star Wars canon, 2018 journal book solo, a Star Wars story, Tales from Vandor, written by Jason Fry. Oh, Star Wars canon. What about Legends, you motherfucker? Fuck your goddamn Wikipedia. I forget you gotta click on Legends. Alright, here we go. Dash Rendar was a human male smuggler and freelancer, born to a wealthy Korean family, blah, blah, blah. Just pursue career in the Navy, doing blah. Parents free to sell their business, Prince Zizor. Inner black son. Dark Prince, fighter, full of orders, little brother Stan, killing him. Double team playing the Render family, exiling from court rules, Smith Render from Imperial Academy, pilots, Michael Merchant, shit, the YT 2400 Light Freighter Outrider. YT 2400. Okay. Services of the Nautilin Navigator. Oh, a Nautilin, how fun. Like Kit Fisto. Alright, blah, blah, blah. Alright. Rendar's one few minutes tried to injure the Shino Man who adopt children to escape ship, defeat Sim, later took a job escorting famous Razor to China, smuggling supplies for the rebels as he traveled. Okay, cool. His work came to the attention of both Imperial Security Bureau and Prince Zizor, but despite deliveries and 3 while delivering supplies to Echo Base on Hoth, Render was trapped on a planet with the Empire Tech and helped Rogue Squadron hold off Imperial ground forces till the rogues evacuate, destroying an ATT in the process. Cool. Fundamental Hoth, Rebendor was hybrid by Calrissian, tracked down Solo, who had been captured by Fed, led racing to call the Tsar system, Rebels on their friend, finally the Render was hunted by Princess Leia to watch over young Luke Skywalker after reaching attempt on his life. After saving Skywalker from a swoop gang on Tatooine, Renard Governor Mitch McCarver plans to the Empire's second Death Star battle station from the Mobcat medium transport Suprosa. Which was success, but an apparent mistake by Render cost the lives of many Bothan's pilots. Oh! Many Bothans died to bring us this information. Oh, there's that fucking line explained. How about that? Seeking to make amends, Rendar helped to rescue Organa. She's helped prisoner by Zizor and his pals on Coruscant. But right appeared to be destroyed. Rendar merely faked his death to avoid reprisals back on the Empire. For 5 years, he teamed up with a human replica droid Guri, forming a mercenary team. Eventually, establishing comes to create more human replica droids, including a replica of Rendar's own brother, Stan. Okay, he seems pretty fun. Interesting character, for sure. Where are we at here with chat? Okay. Brooks cautiously optimistic about season 2 of Andor. Enjoyed Andor season 1. Thought I'd decent finale. Yeah, as a TV show, it was good. It was just like it did not deserve the Star Wars sticker. It was just a sci-fi show. Tom Cruise Superior Iron Man variant still sounds dope. It does, but I don't see it happening. So Doom is not the Mandalorian. No, definitely not. And not having Doctor Strange 3 come before Doomsday is kind of a loss for me, says Brooke, unless they make up for some Incredible Hulk movie. That would be dope. Books I want to read are The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, the rest of the Star Wars, Heir to the Empire trilogy, if I could just find the time for it. More reading, less gaming. You just kind of got to swap them. Been seeing stuff about the Severance show on Apple TV. Yeah, I've heard really good things about Severance. Tom Cruise look as big as RDJ. They're both like 5'5". Well, they do the same thing for Tom they did for RDJ, which is put him in heeled shoes all the fucking time. And keep all the ladies barefoot like they did to Gwyneth Paltrow. You know that's why she is barefoot all the time, right? Because Gwyneth's like 5'10" or 11. So Robert Downey needed his heels on while she had no shoes on whatsoever. Talking about Severance. Charlie says, Sean Levy doing a movie set adjacent to the original trilogy showing Dash's influence on the events would be cool. A midquel of sorts. That could be interesting. As long as they put Force users in it. That's the biggest problem with Andor. There's like nothing to separate it from anything else sci-fi. Especially not the one thing that separates Star Wars from all other sci-fi. That is the Force. And those who wield it, kind of as a combo package. But yeah. Cool. Cool. All right. Here's what's going to happen. We are done with Star Wars. I've had 2 shots. I need to pee. So I'm going to take a little bit of break. Yeah, the Stillers are really good. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. Take a wee-wee. Get some water or something. Jerry Stiller? Yeah, Jerry Stiller's fucking hilarious, bro. Yeah, so I'll be back in a little bit. And then we will get into some Marvel craziness. Okay? Okay. See you in a bit. Oops. That one. And here we go, motherfuckers! Marvel news time. Ooh, yeah, I've heard good things about Silo, too. I hear there's a lot of good shows on Apple TV Plus from what I understand, but I can't afford that fucking shit, so. Guess Doctor Strange could factor in with the future X-Men stuff. Oh yeah, Doctor Strange could be all over the place. And Midnight Suns, he's definitely going to be part. He's got to be part of the Midnight Suns. I've been watching lots of funny, sad stuff though. Is that Servant talking about? How I Met Your Mother guy and Harrison Ford and the other chick in their Shrink office are amazing. Oh, isn't that show just called Shrink? I've seen a couple little clips about that show. Looks fucking hilarious, honestly. Harrison Ford looks just like he's damn funny as shit in that one. But just by being Harrison Ford. So, all right. To the Marvel news. Item number 1. Nothing major. We have the runtimes of all 10 Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man episodes. As you can see, near basic animated feature-length runtimes. Knock off 5 minutes for credits. We're looking at 22, 21, 23, 24. Yeah, we're basically looking at 20 to 25-minute episodes, period, of the show. Daniel says, well, I know those seeds I planted earlier tonight were hot. I just rubbed my eye. It burns very much. Yeah. I can imagine that sucks. Rub some dirt on it and shut the fuck up. Just kidding. That sucks, though, man. I hate anything happens to my eyes. I just lose my goddamn mind. Shrinking. Okay. So, yeah, we're looking at basically 20 to 25 minutes per episode. A little more than 20, yeah. Now, I could not find a graphic for this, but I did bring this up on the TwitX before. You know, I probably could just go to my own goddamn TwitX if I really wanted to. But anyway, they're actually releasing all 10 of these episodes over just 4 weeks. We get week 1, we get episodes 1 and 2. Week 2, we get 3 through 5. Week 3, we get 6 through 8, and then week 4, we get 9 and 10. So we did just 4 weeks, 10 episodes, 4 weeks for this show. That's interesting. Now, there are a couple of reasons behind that, and I honestly don't know if it's an either-or situation with these reasons. Both could be true. And the reasons I came up with are as follows. 1, they're shoving out 10 episodes in 4 weeks because Marvel has 9 fucking projects this year, 6 of which are on Disney+. So they need to get this shit out there, and it's an animated show, and despite the fact that most, if not all of us here fucking love animation, at least when it's good, you know, we wouldn't have a problem with 10 weeks of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man as long as it was fucking good. But, again, this could be purely a scheduling thing. Quick aside, didn't you post the link in my Discord publicly? Daniel, didn't you just put it in my general channel? I thought you did. Anyway, back to Spider-Man. So this could be a purely scheduling decision, which, you know, again, 6 Disney Plus projects coming out this year. It would make sense for them to condense where they could, and regardless of any actual or perceived disrespect to the medium of animation, let's face it, it's easier to condense cartoons. I mean, it's just the way it is. So, we are getting 10 episodes of your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man in 4 weeks. Which means 4 weeks of watch parties for this show. Well, up to 4 weeks of watch parties for the show. And obviously they're going to be a bit of a longer watch party than we've been doing because, we're looking at, 40 to 45 minutes of actual cartoonishness here. Hour 10, hour 15 for the next 2 weeks. And then, same kind of deal for week 4 is in week 1. A little bit longer. So there's that. But yeah. So there's just a little tidbit. We know runtimes and we know the release schedule. My only thing is, yes, it could very well be just about the amount of stuff they have coming out this year. Makes total sense. But the more cynical / pessimistic side of me / part of me that remembers this motherfucker. Oh, thank you, Delta Dan. There's a part of me that remembers that this is one of the shows that qualifies as a Phase 4 product dump. Makes me wonder if they're condensing it not just because of the scheduling aspect, but because they're not 100% sure how well it's going to do. No, I mean, that is a factor that could play into it. Don't know that. Just speculating. But given the history of the phase in which a lot of the projects we're getting this year were conceived and produced, it just makes me wonder a little bit. Had things been going well, I would have just said, hey, they got a lot of shit coming out this year and they need to condense some shit. And with these runtimes, pretty damn easy to condense it. And that could be it. But I wonder. That's all I'm saying is I wonder. That's all. Well, that's all I got for that. Just thought I'd let you guys know what's up with that, especially since it comes out. When does it come out? 29th? 1 week from tonight? Okay, so that means wonder if it's coming out in the. It doesn't. Ooh, does anyone know? What time is the premiere of your friendly good Spider-Man? Yes, I know it's January 29th, but what fucking time? Oh, yeah, it's a week from tonight. Okay, so if it's releasing on Wednesdays, that means we gotta do the watch party on Thursday. Yeah, kind of know what that means, but it does not say the time. All right, let me check this Collider article. Yes, I know it's a curious release schedule. I just got done fucking talking about it. Yeah, but what time? Nope. Does not say what time. I imagine we're going to have to find out pretty fucking soon. It releases literally in a week. But, yeah. Got nothing on that. Unfortunately. Let's see here. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Okay. So, we now move on to more Spider-Man news, but not animated Spider-Man. Live action Spider-Man. Spider-Man 4. Now we know there has been absolutely no shortage of news about Spider-Man 4. There's so much in the way of rumor and speculation out there. I don't think anyone knows what the fuck this movie is. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't think anyone else. I'm not even sure if Marvel knows what this fucking movie is at this point. Um, so, but the latest update is as follows. According to My Time to Shine, hello. Marvel Studios has reportedly found the female lead and the main villain for Spider-Man 4. So, what's everyone's first reaction? Sydney Sweeney for Black Cat. I mean, that she's been fan cast as Black Cat for a long time, and deservedly so. She looks like Black Cat the way Momoa looks like Lobo. Let's face it, when it comes to people that appear to be born to play a role, she looks like she was born to play fucking Black Cat. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney. So obviously, female lead, most people think is going to be Black Cat. And it has also been rumored that Petey's going to have a new love interest in this movie. And he and Black Cat got furry in the comics. You know what I'm saying? So that is, probably most people's first thought. However, we need to take into account from Sony, Madam Web to Disney, could be. There's one thing a lot of people seem to be forgetting when it comes to this potential casting of a female lead for Spider-Man 4. And that is just a second here. There we go. Yeah. So there's one very pertinent. Yeah, boobs are definitely cool. Very cool. Oh yeah, she definitely needs redemption under actual Marvel Studios, not fucking Sony. If you're wondering if it's still up on my screen, yes, it is. Okay, it's not anymore. She's from Washington State, too? Nice. Delta Dan says, I'd leave Zendaya in a heartbeat for Sydney Sweeney. Oh. I don't know. This is Zendaya. Can't remember what magazine was that part of. Oh, Zendaya for Interview Magazine. So while she is nowhere near as voluptuous as Miss Sweeney, um, she does have her own style of being quite attractive. You know, she ain't she is she pretty. She look good. She look good just in a different way from than Sydney does. Is all. You know, that was just for reference, for perspective to round out the conversation. That's why I showed that. Oh yeah, I mean Sydney Sweeney all goddamn day. But I'm just saying, you know, Zendaya is not without merit when it comes to the looks department. That's all I'm saying. She's not without merit. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney in a heartbeat. For sure. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes. So yeah, everyone was like, fuck yeah, Black Cat, Sydney Sweeney in the MCU, here we fucking go. But a lot of people, including myself, until I saw him post about it, are forgetting one big thing. And that is, as we were informed by Alex Perez in, I think, his November Q&A, November Discord Q&A. Yeah, Tom's doing all right. The working title for Spider-Man 4, as far as I know, has not changed from Blue Oasis. There also happens to be a run in Spider-Man comics called Spider-Man Blue, in which he is mourning the loss of, at the time, Gwen Stacy. Because he and Gwen Stacy were married with kids. I can't remember for which storyline, but Spider-Man Blue is basically about his remorse and regret and some other shit. About losing Gwen. So, this female lead could very easily be for being cast for Gwen Stacy, and not necessarily Black Cat. And if Alex is right about what that working title means, it makes it even like no, the working title, Icarus. The word home was not in any of the working titles. The working title is just what they use for a while before they reveal the real title. And since Spider-Man 4 is technically the start of a new trilogy, I'm pretty sure they're done with the home motif in the titles anyway. Um, either way, to be honest, Lou. Yeah, so once you add in Alex's information, and we all know Alex Perez, we know he's good damn good at his job. Like, not just top tier, but like he is the bar that all other scoopers strive to meet. So while like all our brains, or at least all our heads, said, "Ooh, Sydney Sweeney, Black Cat." Once you add into the mix Alex's information, there's a pretty darn good chance it's going to be Gwen Stacy for the new love interest. And it has already been reported that Zendaya is going to have a very limited part in Spider-Man 4 due to her other scheduling needs for Euphoria Season 3, potentially, although that still hasn't, the production date for that still hasn't quite been set yet. That Nolan movie that Holland's also in. Then she's got, I think, another one. So, yeah, she busy. Going to be a light presence of MJ in Spider-Man 4. And based on the working title, the new love interest for Peter Parker very well could be one Gwen, a Stacy. The second picture was leaked from the photographer's private archive at Envy Magazine. It was never intended to be released. Oh, that sucks. Kind of feel bad for Zendaya for that. However, goddamn. So, excuse me. Yeah, what do you guys think about that? You think it'll be Black Cat, forget the working title? You think maybe it'll be Gwen now? Do you have preference? Do you really give it? Are you like Lou either way? What do you guys think? What say you, chat? And if you're on the replay, drop thoughts in the comments. And also hit the buttons, like, subscribe, notification bell. I personally find either concept quite interesting. Be interesting to see if they go the Gwen Stacy route, who they would cast. Oh, definitely Zendaya could get it. I mean, I'd just be worried about shattering her pelvis, honestly. I'm not small. I weigh 226 pounds, unfortunately. Then it says, I just want Sweeney and spandex. I mean, yeah. There's literally only one segment of the population that wouldn't. Yeah, see, Brooke, if it's Gwen Stacy, it ain't gonna be Sydney Sweeney. I don't think. I think it'd be somebody else. Don't know who. I mean, they could bring Sydney Sweeney in for either one. I mean, she could be either one. I think she'd be better Black Cat, honestly. Because, I mean, Gwen, like, comic book women, for the most part, are very well drawn regardless. But I feel like Black Cat is drawn with more emphasis, shall we say, than Gwen Stacy. You know what I mean? With, certain characteristics in slightly more supply than what Gwen Stacy has. You know what I'm saying? Yes, bodacious. Perfect word, Lou. Bodacious. That's a good word. Spandex on the floor. That's an even better spot for it when she's in the room. Yeah. So yeah, we very well could be getting Gwen Stacy as the lead. Now, it was also mentioned that they have their eye on their villain. They know who their villain's going to be. That at this point is a very interesting question because who the villain's going to be, the mantle's been passed quite a few times. It's been posited that it'll be Doom. There's some Mephisto. Uh, no. At this point, who the fuck knows? Obviously, we'll know when we get the casting announcement because if the casting is Andy Serkis, it's fucking no. The cast Sydney Sweeney as Black Cat, that will bring big box office numbers potentially. Bring out a lot of big things, Brooke. Bring out a lot of big things. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully that casting news drops soon. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Brooke says, I want to say Null's the villain. Venom 3 didn't do him enough justice. Well, that is true. Venom 3 didn't even come close to doing him enough justice. Yeah. So, I mean, Null's going to be back. Damn right. Yeah, we're going to see more Null. Probably in Spider-Man 4, possibly. I'm only going to say possibly. With like all the goddamn stories out there, it's fucking ridiculous. But as for seeing Null after Venom 3, that I'm saying 100% that's going to happen. Will it be in Spider-Man 4? Will it be in like a more Sony-led project than an MCU Spider-Man project? Maybe. But I'm sure we are going to see Null again. And there is a decent chance it will be in Spider-Man 4. At least two big things for sure, definitely. So, that's the latest and greatest in Spider-Man 4, folks. We should be finding out who they have cast as the new female lead. Because obviously it won't be Zendaya with her very limited screen time. And the villain. I feel like there was one more Marvel thing other than Spider-Man's animation show and Spider-Man 4 stuff, but maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. All right, where we go? I swear there's one more. What the fuck? I swear there was something else. I swear there was something else. Oh, a quick little tidbit. According to My Time to Shine, Ayo Edebiri is reportedly in consideration for the role of Storm in the upcoming X-Men or MCU X-Men reboot film. Like I said, just a little tidbit there, but it's more confirmation. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. So y'all remember a few weeks ago when the report was dropped that they were looking at Stranger Things actress Sadie Sink to be the new Jean Grey in the soft rebooted MCU. You remember that? You remember hearing about that? You remember that? You remember? Well, that's where I have it. What the hell is this? Oh, that's not what I want. God damn it. Shit nuts. So you know when you're looking for something and you've been looking for it and been looking for it and been looking for it and been looking for it, and then you realize you're in the entire wrong fucking spot the whole goddamn time. That ever happened to you? Okay. Here we are. Oh no, that's not it. About her, but that's not the post. Oh yeah. We'll get back to that. Another little tidbit from my time. Supposedly we are getting Hydra Cap in Doomsday. So yeah, remember when we were talking about that shit? Supposedly we're getting it. Come on. Okay, that's the Gosling thing. Ah, here it is. I found it. Found it. Okay, so we got that report. I don't know what, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month or so now, that Marvel was looking at Sadie Sink to become the Jean Grey for their new X-Men movie. Now today, we get this rumor. And that is Marvel Studios is rumored to be eyeing Olivia Cooke, we all know her as from House of the Dragon, for the role of Jean Grey in an upcoming MCU film. So, at first glance, you might think, well, what the fuck happened to Sadie Sink? But then you gotta look at the phrasing. It says, an upcoming MCU film. Now, as we are, I believe most of us well aware of how things work, tend to work with the X-Men in comics. There's a lot of time travel. There's a lot of doppelgangers. There's a lot of weird shit be happening in X-Men comics, right? So who's to say that this affects Sadie Sink at all, other than giving her someone to act across from in a young Jean versus older Jean scene. Yes, Delta Dan, Olivia Cook, sock time. For sure. You know, just because they could be looking at Olivia Cook to be Jean Grey in a movie does not mean that they are not looking at Sadie Sink to be their long-term Jean Grey. It has long been reported that they want, when they bring the X-Men into the MCU, they want to bring in the young team that Stan Lee and I forgot. Was it Kirby that did the X-Men with him? I can't remember. But the very young team that was the X-Men when the absolute first issue of X-Men came out. We're talking young Cyclops, young Jean Grey, a younger Beast, pre-fur, like in First Class. We're talking a lot of First Class kind of stuff here. So, but done by Marvel Studios instead of Fox. Yeah, we're looking at basically the same motif. Very young team. No Wolverine. Not for a while. So, I personally think this is not to replace Sadie Sink, but just for some kind of story purpose. Young Jean Grey, old Jean Grey kind of thing. I do not think that she's necessarily replacing Sadie Sink. But if she is, the question then becomes, have plans changed for how they want to handle the X-Men since the latest reports that we got, which say they're basically going the First Class route. So it'll be interesting to see. But personally, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think they're still going the young route, at least for now. I think this is probably going to be a one-off deal. So, but interesting. Nonetheless. What do you guys think? Brooke says, oh yeah, there could be many variants of Jean Greys. I mean, especially with how they do tons of time travel and stuff in X-Men, like you said. Yeah. Yeah, X-Men gets nuts. Let's be honest. The X-Men comics get fucking crazy. But we love it. So if they want to get a little crazy in the movies, fine by me. So yeah, that was just a little tidbit I thought was interesting. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have shifted course on X-Men and are going away from Sadie Sink. Could be both. Could be both. Ooh, that's interesting. Check this shit out, guys. This is just random. Check this out. Godzilla vs. Spider-Man by Joe Kelly and Nick Bradshaw. Rise April 30th. Look at this fucking cover. We got symbiote suit going on. Godzilla looks a little cat-like for my taste, honestly. I don't like cat-faced beast either, for the record. At least so far as the aesthetics go, I don't like cat-faced beast. So cat face Godzilla is also weird to me, but whoops. On the other hand, that cover's pretty fire. Just a little random doodad. That's all, just a little random doodad. Oh, Tay. Oh, Tay. X-Men is a universe by itself within the Marvel universe. Is mind about? Yeah. 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 Gotta love them, though. Yeah, they're pretty much everywhere. Pretty much everywhere. All right. Chat. Replay watchers. We have arrived. We are at the big story of the evening. Exactly, Lou. Oh, Tay. It is time to discuss what the fuck is happening with Doctor Strange. Variety put out a couple articles today. I've chosen to read this one because it's a bit more succinct. Okay, it's a lot more succinct. The other article had a shit ton of stuff in it that had absolutely nothing to do with the Marvel stuff. So this is pretty much all about the Marvel part of that earlier interview, long form interview with Benedict Cumberbatch. So, here we go. Benedict Cumberbatch revealed during an interview for Variety's Sundance cover, that would be that interminable interview I was referencing before, that his immediate reaction to the news that Robert Downey Jr. was returning to Marvel as the villainous Doctor Doom was a complete and utter shock. After all, Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange shared many scenes with Downey's Iron Man in films like Avengers Endgame. He had more scenes with him in Infinity War by far. Downey's surprise Doctor Doom role was announced to the world at Comic-Con last year, and Cumberbatch immediately grabbed his phone to message Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige. I texted, "What the fuck?" and then quickly added, "Good what the fuck. I mean good what the fuck," Cumberbatch said. Downey will debut as the Marvel villain in 2026's Avengers Doomsday, which will also mark the returns of longtime MCU directors Joe and Anthony Russo. Excuse me. But Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange will not be facing off against Doom in that superhero tentpole. Is that a spoiler, he asks? Fuck it. According to Cumberbatch, plans for Doctor Strange to appear in the next Avengers movie were overhauled when Jonathan Majors got axed by Marvel after he was convicted of assaulting his ex-girlfriend. Majors' villain Kang was going to be the new Avengers villain. That duty now falls to Downey, and Cumberbatch said Doctor Strange sitting out Doomsday has to do with the character non-aligning with this part of the story. But Doctor Strange will be, quote, in a lot of 2027's Avengers Secret Wars and is quite central to where things might go, the actor teased. While fans will have to wait a bit longer than expected for Cumberbatch and Downey to reunite, the actor is thrilled about Downey returning to Marvel. Cumberbatch said his performance was a bit stiff in the first Doctor Strange movie, as he found it difficult to figure out how to stay relaxed while working inside the Marvel machine. Watching Downey's banner with Tom Holland's Spider-Man Homecoming taught Cumberbatch that the Marvel set isn't made for the tightly wound. I learned a lot by seeing how it is and improvisatory. He's British. He probably says improvisatory. They are. It's hard because you have this huge apparatus around you, but it's so important. I had to. I can't even remember what his actual accent sounds like. Read Cumberbatch's writing. Yeah, I don't care about the entire fucking article. Okay. So. No Strange in Doomsday. If this is true and he's not just lying out his ass, because let's face it, that's what Marvel actors do. If this is true, questions arise. Questions arise. Oh, thank you, Lou. Question number one is, if he's not in Doomsday, what the actual fuck is this movie? Let's go over the history here. When we last summer heard that King Dynasty was now Doomsday, and that we still were due a Doctor Strange 3 movie, which, by the way, is starting to look like it's not coming out till after Secret Wars. Not big news. The consensus speculation, as it were, was that since it's become quite obvious that they're using a lot of the Hickman run for these movies, we figured Doctor Strange 3 was probably going to be some form of adaptation of Time Runs Out, if not at least most of the story, but with it concluding in Doomsday, and Doomsday concluding in the destruction and reformation of the universe, of the multiverse by Doctor Doom. And the thing about Time Runs Out is Strange is very heavily fucking involved. First, he gets captured by Doom, except at the time he thinks it's some dude named Rabum Alal. It turns out to be Doom. Whole massive story behind that. But the long and short of it is that Strange and Doom end up partnering up to figure out what the fuck's going on with the universe and to enact Doctor Doom's scheme to get all the Molecule Men from across the multiverse, because evidently the Beyonders had placed a Molecule Man in every universe as a failsafe to end their experiment, known as the multiverse. So Strange aided Doom in collecting Molecule Men, and he aided Doom in basically blowing them up in the Beyonders' faces so Doom could steal all their power. He kept one Molecule Man around, who ended up basically being his Beyonder power battery. But and then he ended up helping Doom run Battleworld after Doom, took all the multiverse chunks and shoved them together in a Battleworld. So Strange is very, 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 very involved with the New Avengers run leading into Time Runs Out, leading directly into Secret Wars and Battleworld. Super involved. So we have no idea when the fuck they're going to start production on Doctor Strange 3, so we'll be lucky to even get that in the Multiverse Saga. I don't think it's happening. So if we're not getting a version of Time Runs Out in Doctor Strange 3, and we're not getting Strange as a character in Doomsday, what the fuck are they doing in Doomsday if they're not adapting Time Runs Out? And if they're still adapting Time Runs Out, which is what they should be adapting at least a fair chunk of, because that's literally the lead up to fucking Secret Wars, which is the literal next Avengers movie after Doomsday, then what the actual fuck is this movie? Why would you adapt Time Runs Out, which is the obvious setup to Secret Wars, and not have Strange in it? Yes, I realize that y'all got fucked with the whole Jonathan Majors King situation. Well, you got fucked twice. You got fucked once by Majors himself by getting into some bullshit, and you got fucked by Jeff Loveness with what he did to Kang in Quantumania. Double fuck. And I understand needing to rewrite, at least to an extent, the King Dynasty to fit now Doctor Doom instead of Kang. Like Benedict tried to make it make sense in the interview that, my story was supposed to be heavily involved with Kang, so now that it's Doom, I'm not, so I'm not going to be in the movie. The fuck? Like, bro, Doctor Strange is essential to the lead up to Secret Wars. Like, essential. He is Doom's buddy ish working partner to help him again with his scheme to destroy the Beyonders and take their power and reform the multiverse. How he wants it, of course. But yeah, so if they're not having Strange in this movie, I don't know how they would be doing Time Runs Out. If they're not doing Time Runs Out, what the actual fuck is this movie going to be? So, now there was that report that just came out last week that y'all remember. Like the Russos called up McFeely, like, bro, you want to do Secret Wars? And he said, fuck no, and hung up on him. And then called back the next day because, you know, he had an epiphany and was like, how about this motherfucking story? And they were like, oh my God, we have to do that story. Like the three of them together. So, does it make sense that they are abandoning the Kang Dynasty script? Of course it does. It's not Kang anymore. Now it's Doom. Does it make sense that they're not just kind of adapting the beats to fit Doom instead of Kang and not changing the entire fucking movie? You would think. But the flip side of that is if Cumberbatch is being honest, yeah, they rewrote that entire motherfucker based on what the Russos and McFeely came up with, which they could have chosen to incorporate some of the beats and may have chosen to incorporate a beat here and there from the Loveness King Dynasty script. But it does also make a sort of sense that they would be like, fuck this whole thing. We have this dope ass idea, and this is how we're going to use this to lead into Secret Wars. So we're looking basically with this story at two main possibilities. One, Cumberbatch is lying, and he will be in Doomsday, and they will do the predictable, and let's face it, as far as most of us are concerned, smart thing, team up Strange and Doom, do Time Runs Out, do whatever they're going to do between Doomsday and Secret Wars, and then finish shit off proper like in Secret Wars. But if he's not lying, and McFeely and the Russos took the entire thing they were doing with both King Dynasty and Secret Wars and chucked it fucking all, which it's starting to look like they did. Reports have come out that Waldron's Secret Wars script got shit canned, and McFeely and the Russos started from scratch on that. Well, if they did that with Secret Wars, why the fuck wouldn't they do that with King Dynasty and completely do their own story, how they want to lead into Secret Wars? There is a legit chance that what they have chosen to do with these two movies, combined with this supposed revelation by Cumberbatch that he is not going to be in Doomsday, basically means everything we thought we knew is now outdated information. See, I told you I'd come back around to outdated information. And it's kind of starting to look that way. Everything we thought we knew is just no longer the fucking case. McFeely and the Russos are going ham and redoing all of it. And to that I say, holy shit, please don't fuck it up. Because, like, the setup is, just look at the goddamn comics and follow them, for the most part. You know? That's really all you got to do. Adapt a chunk of Avengers, New Avengers, adapt a chunk of Time Runs Out, and then give us fucking Secret Wars. So either he's lying, or at this point in time, we know absolutely fucking nothing about what's coming. All our speculation goes right out the goddamn window if he's not lying. All of it. And I don't even know where to begin to try and figure out what the fuck they're doing if he's not in that movie. I don't know what the fuck they would be doing. What up, Rossi? He's lying? I mean, based on all our nerdy knowledge, that makes the most sense. Like what we know of the comics, you know, all the reports we've had up till this point. What up, Executive Judge? How you doing, brother? Joanna. Yeah. Just letting you know I'm on OxyContin. Awesome. Yeah, I'm just now getting into the strange top. I mean, I've been on it for a few, but yeah, that's the biggest one in my mind, and I always say the biggest one to last to, you know, drag it out and try and... Retention, Your Honor. I'm going for fucking retention, okay? It's purely a retention strategy that may or may not work. But yeah, bro, love and thoughts to Rossi. Hearts in the chat for Rossi, folks. He's still fucking going through it. Although OxyContin will help to an extent. Yeah, hearts in the chat for Rossi, please. Busy watching The Boys for the first time? Ooh, what do you think, bro? I love that show. Good excuse for why you're late. I accept that. I do not hold you in contempt of the basement for that one. So far, so good. That show's great. It gets extra. Yeah, it gets very, very extra. But it's fucking awesome. By the way, what the fuck is Spider-Man Noir? Okay. Saw the first 2 episodes, so far so good. All right. Ask me again in a few minutes, Icarus. I wish to finish talking about this whole Cumberbatch and what the fuck it could mean for these Avengers movies coming up. And then we'll talk about Spider-Man Noir. Oh, you see that? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right, Brooke. I wouldn't mind being able to watch that again for the first time. That show's fucking great. Too bad we're not getting the final season till next year. We are supposed to get season 2 of Gen V this year, which will be interesting. I'm be curious to see how they handle that kid dying in the accident. The basically the Magneto style kid. He died IRL. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that, especially since he was locked in a cell with them at the end of season 1. So we're supposed to get Gen V season 2 this year, and then The Boys season 5 next year. I'm not sure when we're supposed to get one of the spinoffs they've been talking about. Hopefully we get the Soldier Boy spinoff with Ackles. Love me some Jensen Ackles. But anywho. So yeah, allegedly we're gonna have no Strange in Doomsday, but a fuck ton of them in Secret Wars, according to Benedict Cumberbatch himself. So we need to decide: do we believe him? Is he just another lion-ass Marvel actor? I would say the odds are in the favor of that conclusion, but it is also not super unlikely that McFeely and the Russos came in, and it's already been reported that they shit-canned Waldron's Secret Wars script, that they came in and, you know, went, fuck that shit too. And redid the whole thing in a very different way than what we all might be expecting. Doctor Strange 3 has to come out before Secret Wars at this point. Well, the only way that happens is if that is the secret movie filming this fall. Because that is the latest they can start and still make that February 2027 time slot that exists before the May slot of Secret Wars. The mystery movie that allegedly is a Hulk movie, or what was the other possibility? Shang-Chi 2. And out of the two, Shang-Chi 2 actually makes more sense because then we might get some answers with the 10 rings, that their celestial technology, yada, 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 ad infinitum. So, Lou says definitely lying. I mean, again, the odds are in favor of that. But if this gets confirmed from a couple, three sources, then the fuck? And we'll all be at that point, I think, well, what the fuck are they even doing with these movies now? Because let's face it, a lot of our confidence in these movies comes from how awesome Hickman's Avengers, New Avengers, and Secret Wars run was. One of the all-time greatest comic stories, period, ever to be put on the illustrated page. So why would they not follow that template? Right? Why would they not do that? So I hope he's lying, because I take a lot of comfort in what appeared to be, for the longest time, that they're going to be heavily adapting that Hickman run. Executive Judge says him not appearing in Doomsday and just appearing out of thin air in Secret Wars without getting answers to what happened with Clea won't feel right. Yeah, well, here's the thing. If he's not lying, he's going to be in Secret Wars a fuck ton, which I think means we're going to get some flashback exposition. If we don't get Doc Strange 3 in February 2027. We're going to get some flashback exposition. Is what we're going to get. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Lot of potential implications for these next two Avengers movies if he is not fucking lying. I gotta say. And I'm not sure at this point how I feel about those implications. Like, frankly, if he's not lying, I'm goddamn concerned. Because like I said, I took a lot of comfort in the fact that it looked like, or in the appearance that they were going to be adapting the Hickman run a shit ton, with, of course, influences from, the other two Secret Wars from the 80s. But, yeah, fucking... I hope he's lying. I hope they're going to be sticking with basically adapting the Hickman run. Because if they're not, holy shit, that's not a risk I don't know. I think the biggest indicator that he's probably lying, outside the fact that, Marvel actors have a long history of that, is I don't know that Feige would be a fan of going so far away from what he has to know fans are expecting, i.e., adapting the Hickman run. Especially after he knows that's what basically cost them Phase 4 and most of Phase 5. was being too creative, being too outside the box. That was an issue for a lot of Phase 4, most of it being Disney Plus problems. That is a issue that is fresh in our minds still, like literally right now. We still know Phase 4 is crap. We're still not happy about it. And we want to back to basics and just adapt the cool shit and give it to us. That's really all we want. Adapt the dopest shit and give it to us. Just do that. So, the fact that there's even an appearance that Marvel could be fucking around and doing something wildly different, concerning. Definitely not something I'll get excited about until we find out more. But yeah, so is he lying? Is he not? Fuck ton of implications if he's not, and very few of those implications I consider to be yay. Most of them like. So that is the Benedict Cumberbatch Doctor Strange not being in Doomsday story. Express your thoughts, chat. And if you're on the replay, express them in the comments. I know some of you definitely feel he's lying. I'm leaning that direction. But how do you feel about the potential wildness implicit in him not lying? And the various scenarios I outlined for you. Didn't he lie about shit in No Way Home? I do not remember if he did. Mostly just remember Andrew and Toby lying about it, for the most part. Because the 3 Spider-Mens was like the big story, so that I remember. Says, I mean, I get it, but he's super careful with his words in interviews. Okay. So are you taking that as evidence that he is lying? Then? We need Holland to leak some important news, right? Do you remember him checking Tom in an interview? Okay. 100% lying? All right. Hope you're right. We should find out in the not too distant future, though, because Doomsday is going to film this year. Fucking has to. So, because it's got to be out in 16 months. I think it starts filming in March. I mean, yeah, that's facts. We all knew the Spider-Men's were going to be in No Way Home. So, Benedict will probably be in Doomsday, but not as Strange. You know, it's funny you say that. Because I swear I saw someone say one of the lesser-known scoopers said something about that. Can't remember which one. Here we go, scrolling, 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 scrolling. We go. Where'd I see it? Where'd I see it? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Why did you leave me here all alone? Searched the world over and thought I found true love. You met another and you were gone. Where'd it go? I think I'm getting close. I'm almost there. Almost there. Stop it. Get off of that. I don't care about that shit. Where to go? Okay, here it is. Found it. So, according to Divinity Seeker, who has gotten stuff right, Tropic Thunder. Yeah, you know it took me like his third or fourth scene for me to recognize that was fucking Tom Cruise, looking like Popeye in that goddamn outfit. I swear to God, with the forearms and shit, it's hilarious. Anyway, so according to Divinity Seeker, who does get stuff right, uh, I would say nowhere near even the level of even RPK or My Time, but has gotten stuff right. Says, I mean, obviously this is a repost, but or a you know, it's a quote, but you know, with just an attribution at the bottom. So according to Divinity Seeker, Benedict Cumberbatch is in Avengers Doomsday, even though he stated today that he would not appear as Doctor Strange. This means he could be playing a different character, possibly a variant of someone from the multiverse. I only brought that up just because you brought that up, Executive Judge. I don't. This is just me, and I have no concrete reason to feel this way. Just what my gut tells me. You know, based on what I've been learning over the last couple years, how this shit tends to work. And I'm still very much a rookie. I admit this freely. So, you know. But my speculation, my gut, my instinct, my hunchies They tell me that if he's in Doomsday as motherfucking Strange. That's what my gut says. They're not going to do with him what they're doing with RDJ, probably because, or precisely because, well, 616 Strange is still fucking alive, unlike 616 Tony Stark, who is dead. Just as a quick aside, how awesome is this? I want it. I want it bad. Anyway. Yeah, I personally don't see it. If Cumberbatch is in Doomsday, he's got to be in as Strange. Gots to be. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised another dude. Right. I don't see it. Although it'd be interesting. I'm curious as to what the fuck they would be doing. Like, who would they have him be if not Stephen Strange? Like, I just don't think they have the leeway to do that with him like they do with RDJ, because RDJ's character is fucking dead. Strange ain't. He's very, very, very alive. So, I don't know. I don't know. But I I will not discount the possibility, but I don't give it very good odds at all. At all. What was I supposed to talk? Oh yeah, Spider-Man Noir. I don't remember. Was it Icarus? Was it Executive Judge? I just remember it was someone with a white avatar. Anyway, asked about Spider-Man Noir. So what Spider-Man Noir is an Amazon Prime series initially conceived by Lord Miller. Okay, it was you, Icarus. All right, cool. Initially conceived of by Lord Miller and run by Lord Miller until they got in a fight with Sony about the budget, and Sony kicked them the fuck off it. Potential Rare Russo brother L. It would be a Rare Russo brother L inside Marvel. They've got a few outside Marvel. Honestly, actually, they're most of what they've done out at since Endgame outside of Marvel has been middling at best. They have not done well. At least that's the general consensus. So, make of that what you will. So yeah. So what it is it's an Amazon Prime series starring Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir. And it's set in the 30s, like, most noir whatevers. You meant Marvel? Marvel? Yeah. I hope not. I hope not, because so far they're 4 for 4 in my mind when it comes to Marvel movies. So, that being Winter Soldier, Civil War, and Infinity War and Endgame. I mean, this is the team, though. The 4 that they are, given the accolades for, again, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, was them teamed up with Marcus and McFeely. We only have McFeely at this point. And, with, well, not in Winter Soldier, but with RDJ and the other 3 doing his thing. I mean, the odds are that what they're doing is going to be dope. But, yeah. You like Infinity War the best? See, I like Winter Soldier the best. For me, Winter Soldier is the best MCU movie in the entire fucking catalog. That's just for me, though. But it should be for you. Anyway, back to Spider-Man Noir. My ADD ass. So yeah. So the whole premise of Spider-Man Noir, in the comics, it's a title Civil War. I mean, Civil War's fucking good. In the comics, he is basically a version of Peter Parker from the 30s. You know, I believe the comics are in black and white. I'm not 100% sure. If not, they're definitely very dark in tone, like aesthetics wise. A lot of blacks and shadows and shit. Anyway, so yeah, basically he's a version of Peter Parker set in the 1930s that, you know, does the noir detective shit, you know, the self-narration and the, you know, it was a stormy night when she walked in, you know, that feel, right? So in this case, it is now in it's now an Amazon Prime show, formerly headed by Lord and Miller, but they got in a fight with Sony and got kicked the fuck off that show. But it stars Nicolas Cage. He's playing Ben Reilly and not Peter Parker, supposedly. It's been a hot minute since we've seen news on that, but a couple of the actors that they've reported casting for the show seem pretty cool. But yeah, so basically he's like 1930s Spider-Man. You know, with the noir look, trench coat, fedora. You know, utility belt under the trench coat, of course, or whatever, you know, 30s version of Spider-Man equipment he uses. But he has, you know, the traditional spider powers, spider sense, very enhanced strength, you know, being able to stick to stuff while crawling. Yeah, I hope it's a weekly release too. I agree. But yeah, that's the basicness of it. Basically Spider-Man in the 30s. Is essentially what it boils down to. I mean, I don't hate binge releases. Sometimes I'm in the mood for binge releases, personally, but this kind of show, I want it to be weekly. Mostly just because I think it's going to be good. Like, Echo should have been dropped all at once. Wait, was it? Yes, it was. And that was a good idea. They should think about doing that with a couple of these Phase 4 shows they're dropping this year, honestly. They should just drop them all at once instead of weekly. That's just my opinion, though. It's just what I say. It's just what I say. Cool. All right, well, that's all I got. What do you got for me, chat? Anything else? Because if not, 'tis almost... Okay, it is now officially Thursday in the Eastern Time Zone. Sounds like a great concept. We need more noir stuff. I can use a little noir in my life every once in a while, that's for sure. But yeah, it is now Thursday in the Eastern Time Zone. So if y'all don't have anything for me, I'm going to get the fuck out of here, chill out for about an hour, and then go to goddamn bed because I have to get up and work in the morning. But I'm giving you a shot, chat. Throw a couple things at me, but we are getting out of here soon. Tier list? Oh shit, that reminds me. Thank you for bringing that up. Show notes. There's still a few of you in here. I'll put out a reminder later on the Discordy. No stream this Saturday. I turned 50 this year, not this weekend. But as I'm turning 50, a lot of the people in a lot of people, acquaintances I know are, turning 50 as well. My best friend's turning 50 in March. I'm going to be going to Vegas for that, so there'll be a Saturday stream not happening in March. But in the case of this weekend, it is Mrs. Chillin's best friend's 50th birthday party. So we are going to that, and I am not streaming this Saturday. Sorry. But I'll be at a 50th birthday party for my wife's best friend. Yeah, well, I got till October, Brooke. I have till October, so I still have 10 months of 49 left in me. Or 9 months. Actually, just under, because my birthday's on the 13th. Anyway, so, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, no stream on Saturday. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, gonna be at a 50th birthday party of a close friend. So, but we'll definitely be back at it next Wednesday. And then it looks like next Thursday will be the watch party for the first 2 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Don't pull a Walter White and go to the drug trade. I will not. I know, Lou, I know. Stream in real life, yeah. I don't know about streaming. I might throw some random shorts up on the channel, though, just for shits and giggles. That might not be a bad idea. Actually, now that you mention it. Could do that. Alright, y'all. I'm giving you a limited time to get after me. I'm tired. I gotta work in the morning. I'm getting the fuck out of here. So, I hope y'all had fun. I had fun. I love talking this shit with y'all. I hope you had fun listening to me talk about it. Thank you for being here. That would be sick. You want some shorts? Okay. I'll give you some shorts on Saturday night. Actually, we're starting in the afternoon, so I don't know how that's going to go, honestly. I'm too old for that shit. But we'll find out. We will find out. So, thank y'all for being here. Appreciate it a lot, whether you're here live, active in the chat, lurking, or you've made it all the way through the replay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have not done so yet, please hit the buttons, like, subscribe, notification bell. If you're feeling real frisky, share some of the videos out stream. If you're feeling ultra frisky, clip some shit out, share it out, be like, yo, check this dude out. He's a little goofy, but he's fun. Yeah. So, all that YouTube channel host begging aside, thank you again for being here. Love y'all. We will see y'all Wednesday, 1 week from tonight, because I got that birthday party Saturday. So y'all have a great rest of your week. Have a safe weekend, and have a good beginning to your next week. And we will see you next Wednesday night, where we will talk about all kinds of shit, probably, because we're gonna have a whole week before we talk again. So, much love, everyone. Thank you for being here. Y'all are the dopest, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Peace. Oh, yeah, that was a fun stream, y'all. That was a fun stream. I hope you guys had fun. Be waiting for those. Mrs. Chillin might have a thing or two to say about you waiting for my shorts, Lou. I mean, I don't care. I'm flattered, but Mrs. Chillin might be a little upset. You know, just fair warning. Fair warning. Anywho, got some crazy news tonight. Well, technically over the last few days, but we talked about some crazy news tonight. I think we pulled off a pretty good stream tonight, y'all. And I mean it when I say we. I could not have a good stream were it not for you guys hanging and chilling and contributing in the Chizat. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for leaving comments if you have chosen to do so from the replay. Or if you choose to go back into this and leave a comment. You know, you guys can always come back in and, you know, to the video, and you don't have to watch the whole goddamn thing again, but you know, if you have a thought about anything after the stream's over, always feel free to throw a comment in that motherfucker. That also helps show YouTube that they need to spread the good word of the basement to the masses. So, you guys have my undying gratitude. You are the bestest, the awesomest, the dopest. And I thank you for spending any time with me whatsoever. Have a good week, y'all. Be safe this weekend. Try not to go nuts at work. And we will see you next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, remember this. Wherever you're at and whoever you're with, always keep it nerdy. Much love, y'all. Peace.